this is where I'm meant to be. Me and you and me. And I don't have to prove a thing. You've already approved of me. 'Cause you are closer, closer than my skin. And you are in the air I'm breathing in. Here's where the dead things come back to live. I feel my heart beating again. It feels so good to know you are my friend. I didn't know I could have a friend like you. I didn't know I could have a friend like you. Jesus, though you are. I didn't know I could have a friend like you. Oh, you meet us where we are, you meet us. I didn't know I could have a friend like you. I didn't know I could have a friend like you. Always sit here at your feet. I didn't know I could have a friend like you. You're the only one. I didn't know I could have a friend like you. And here's where the dead things come back to living. I feel my heart beating again. It feels so good to know you are my friend. When you walk into the room, everything changes. Darkness starts to tremble at the light that you bring. And when you walk into the room, every heart starts burning. And nothing matters more than just to sit here at your feet and worship you. And when you walk into the room, everything changes. Darkness starts to tremble at the light that you bring. When you walk into the room, every heart starts burning. And nothing matters more than just to sit here at your feet and worship you. We love you, and we'll never stop. Can't live without you, Jesus.
Welcome everybody to the Throne of Worship. My name is Phoebe Pedrina and I am your new host. I think that's super cool. I want to thank PJ Pastor Jerome for this awesome opportunity to continue ministering to people from everywhere and anywhere. I don't know. I think that's so awesome that we have the opportunity to reach people in mainly unreachable places through technology. But yeah, so today is my first day, and so I wanted to kind of let you get to know me. But yeah, my name is Phoebe Pedrina. I was born in the Philippines. I was there until I was 4, and then I moved to Canada with my family. Yeah. So when it comes to worship, my journey started a long time ago, but it's a long time coming, and it wouldn't have either been possible without the help of so many mentors and so many friends and people in my life that have spoken life into music as a passion of mine. I remember when I was so young, maybe 4, maybe 2, but I remember this one memory. I was in my old church in the Philippines, and I really wanted to sing. And I'm pretty sure that this was a common occurrence when I was younger, where I would wait until the service was over, and my mom or my parents would be talking to their friends or whatever, and I would run to the stage and I like grab the mic because it was still on, right? And so I'd like start singing. It was like the ABCs at the time because I was super young, but that was like my very first memory of worship, or at least in a church setting, music in a church setting. Yeah, and then when we moved here, music just became one of my biggest passions. And then I always wanted to just sing for God and dance for God, and I always had a posture of worship as a child. And so, yeah, it grew and grew, and now here I am. So I started kind of learning music like as an official thing. I started taking lessons when I was maybe in 5th or 6th grade. But before I get into that, I do want to say that when I was a kid, I do remember somebody telling me that I should like go and take lessons with somebody, and like at that time I was like all hurt, and I was like little Phoebe was just like, "Oh, what do you mean? Like, you don't think I'm any good?" But no, like now that I reflect back on it, now that I'm older, it's just like, no, I think that person just saw the potential, and he wanted to speak into that, and I just like didn't see it as a kid. But now when I think about it, I'm like, wow, okay, like I get it. But yeah, moving into lessons, one of my mentors, I met her actually at my old church before we came and merged with what used to be the Waves of Glory, and now it's called The Wave. Her name is Heidi Corte, and she was my music teacher for a very long time, and she had so much patience for me. She was also Christian, which was really awesome, and she just, not only did she fuel my passion for music, but she also spoke into my life, which I think is really important when you go into worship, is to have mentors and just people that surround you that can speak into growing different parts of you, and always speaking life, and always letting you know that you're always capable of more than you think you are. I know when I was, for so many years, it took me so long to even like share my music with people and to have that worship time for the Lord in front of other people, because I was so afraid. But I think she helped me, and like other people in my life really supported me, like my mom. She always helped me grow, because I was always so afraid of being on stage and being seen. And yeah, so many people, you need to be surrounded by them to really, really grow. God works so much more in community than you in isolation. So there's always a season for things, but when it's time to grow, and to grow in community is just so different, and it's a time where you really flourish. So I started singing at my own church called The Wave. When I was maybe 16, I want to say 15, 16, I always wanted to be on worship. That was like me. I want to do that. And I had some really supportive people along the way to speak into that as well. I remember I was at a camp retreat, and I was just like, man, like I want it to be like one of those people just like go for God. But I was so scared. And I remember just having this conversation with somebody named Rachel. And she was just so kind enough to take some time with me to like reassure me and to just speak life. And like the power of words is so great. And so I think that's also a big part in worship and singing in particular, is like your words bring life or death, right? It says that in the Bible. And so just having that as a way to work into your life is super important. But yeah, I started when I was 16, and I just started singing. I didn't even play any instruments at the time. I now play guitar and piano a lot when I am on the team. But yeah, I started singing, and it was definitely still a lot of work for me. Whenever I sang in front of other people, I was so scared to make mistakes, to just like be in front of people. It made me so nervous. And I remember being on a stage at school, and my legs were shaking so bad. And that's just kind of how it was for a long time, until God really worked a number in my life, and he was like, no, we're gonna do this thing, we're gonna grow you, we're gonna put you in the kingdom to do so much more work. And I was like, oh my goodness, it's super scary. But like I knew that what I wanted was bigger than my fear, and I knew that my God was bigger than my fear. And so yeah, he worked through all of that. Took a lot of time, and some things take time, but as long as you stick through it, God really redeems in the end. But yeah, so I remember afraid of even being like close to the mic, and I was maybe like a foot away. I was like all the way back here. And I remember the people that I used to worship with, they would be like, no, like you can be close to the mic, you can make mistakes, like this is like room to make mistakes. And I think in performance, in like music in general, and the arts, sometimes we as artists and musicians take it upon ourselves to feel like we have to be a certain way and be like really good at a certain thing, and just have that expectation on ourselves to be great before we can be good. But I think that's the part that takes the most time. That's the part that's the most important, because that's where you're going to learn the most, and that's where you're going to take what you learned and bring it to when you're great. And sometimes if you don't take that time, then when you're great, you just don't have all the building blocks you need to really do it with the same foundation. But yeah, I had so many mentors in my life that spoke into me. There was our old worship leader, who was also a family friend, who also was really supportive, and I was also on the team a lot, and actually he drove me to worship like every time that I went, because I was like young at the time and I didn't have a car, and like before I had a license, like all these other things. Like to have people in your life that can help you is so telling of how good God is and how good godly community is, and not just people who go to church, but people who really live for God. But even that's a process, and I think in worship and in music, I really found a lot of that. To take not just what you see out in the world, like people singing and dancing and like making money off something that they do, but like not just a job, but something that genuinely means something to you and to God, and to really be passionate about a ministry that he can do so much work in for so many people. And the thing that I really like about worship and music is that it ties people together who would otherwise not be around each other. And it really brings a time to make a lot of things possible where other places won't allow for it. And it really just binds people together in a way that's just so awesome and amazing. So with music in particular, it took me a while before I could really gain the courage to put my own music out there. And my music teacher and mentor, Heidi, she really helped with that process. Took a couple years, actually. Even after I had already recorded, it took about a year after that to actually get it out there to people, for other people to hear, other than like my immediate family and anywhere I like went to sing it. Some things I think do take time, and I think with worship and music, you just have to have patience and gratefulness in the moment that you are where you are. The thing is that in every season, it's always going to be something, and each goal that you achieve isn't the end of something, it's just another start, you know? And I think that there's a misconception of, oh, once I have this thing, then I'll be this thing, you know? Once I learn how to play the piano perfectly and I perfect my theory and I get super great and I'm like well known and blah blah blah, then I'll be this, you know? Then I'll do it for God. Like that type of thing, you know? And it's really not. I think people miss out on so much more joy and just contentment in the season they're in when they're focused on the next one. And that was really hard for me at the time. But I think people being patient with you while also pushing you and supporting you are really important. And so if you're in a place where you feel stuck, it's okay to reach out and ask people to pray into that for you to take the next step that you're afraid to take, and just to see things in a way that maybe you haven't seen. And so asking God to bring a different perspective to push you in a new direction. One thing that I find really great about worship is that you can do it anywhere and any time. And one of the things that I had to learn pretty recently, although it's something that I've always known, is to have like personal worship just with you and just with Christ. It's so amazing how much more you can hear from him when you actually have that time to like close the door behind you and to just leave everything at the feet of Jesus and at his throne, because he's willing to take it, just as long as we're willing to give it up. And he can do so much more when we let go of things that we believe that we can do better. And worship really teaches you to let a lot of stuff go, because you can't be an empty vessel if you're still trying to hold on to things that are still in your hands, you know? That's all to say that I also have now an EP that's out. It's called Resonate. It's on all streaming platforms, and honestly, it's so crazy to even say that, because there was a point in time where I like took an entire summer to myself trying to like make music, and I didn't even make music that summer. I didn't. It was very unproductive for myself, and it was not a fun time. Well, it was a fun time, but not a productive time. And I could have done so much more, but once I was able to, it was just one more next step and one more next step, and then things just become so simpler. And once you finally get the first time through something, the next time just won't be as hard because you've already been through it, which means you already know what it's like to come out on the other end. Yeah, I mean, God is so good because he really moves in ways that is very much unexpected, and you won't see it coming, and sometimes he will make things happen on the spot. That's also something in worship that I learned as leading in worship, actually. Sometimes we make plans. Sometimes I have a set list that looks really nice, ready to go, and everybody knows how to play everything, and everything's great. And then God's like, no, we're not doing that today. We're actually doing this other thing that's completely different, and maybe not everybody knows it, but this is what everybody needs today. And I think sometimes that's just how life is just we make plans, but God is always moving and he's always changing things, and sometimes it's just about time before we actually see what he's doing, and it always ends up great. It might not be what we wanted, but it always ends up better in some way or another, or it helps us in another way that's not what we expected or what we necessarily asked for, but it shows up in the way that you most need it. And he knows that, and he knows you better. But yeah. I think that's about all for now. I think we're going to take a quick break, and then after that I will be singing a little bit, and then we'll say goodbye.
Upon you because that
light that you bring, and when you walk into the room, every heart starts burning, and nothing matters more than just to sit here at your feet and worship you. And when you walk into the room, everything changes. Darkness starts to tremble at the light that you bring. When you walk into the room, every heart starts burning, and nothing matters more than just to sit here at your feet and worship you. We love you, and we'll never stop. Can't live without you, Jesus.
You are watching the True Word Television, spreading the true word of salvation.
Young, strong, resistant, resilient, persistent, ready, gathering for a cause. To prepare the young generations rather than repair them later.
God believes in young people. There is no vision that can become generational without the involvement of young people.
The Young Generals Gathering, every Monday 5 p.m. CST on the True Word Television.
I am your privileged host, Philip Olabisi.
When it is Tuesday on the True Word Television, it is time to explore the True Wellness Connections.
Welcome again to the True Wellness Connection. My name is Claudine Salomo.
Today's Tuesday.
Especially on Tuesdays like this, we talk about a lot of topics.
Join Mrs. Claudine Salomo.
I am not saying you should not love yourself for who you are, but you should want to do something even better.
Victoria Masio.
You just have to be honest with yourself.
And Elizabeth Brimo.
The way you live tells so much to the kids.
To talk health, wealth, parenting, relationship, finances, and life at large.
Because any negative thought, trust me, does never build anybody, can only destroy us.
Look deep inside your pocket, your bank account.
The way you handle situations that all matters.
The True Wellness Connections, every Tuesday on the True Word Television, 5:30, Winnipeg.
You are watching the True Word Television, spreading the true word of salvation.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back from that quick break. I'm actually going to be taking you all in a moment of worship. And so take this time to get yourself situated, whether that's standing or sitting or not moving at all, and just enjoying the moment with the Lord. I welcome you to do that.
When the music fades, all is stripped away, and I simply come, longing just to bring something that's of worth, that will bless your heart. I'll bring you more than a song, for a song in itself, it's not what you have required. You search much deeper within, through the way things appear. You're looking into my heart. I'm coming back to the heart of worship. Yeah, it's all about you. It's all about you, Jesus. I'm sorry, Lord, for the thing I've made it. When it's all about you, yeah, it's all about you, Jesus. King of endless worth, no one could express how much you deserve. Though I'm weak and poor, all I have is yours, every single breath. I'll bring you more than a song, for a song in itself, it's not what you have required. You search much deeper within, through the way things appear. You're looking into my heart. I'm coming back to the heart of worship. Yeah, it's all about you. Yeah, it's all about you, Jesus. I'm sorry, Lord, for the thing I made it. When it's all about you, yeah, it's all about you, Jesus. Spirit was moving over the water. Spirit, come move over us. Come rest on us. Come rest on us. As the Spirit was moving over the water. Spirit, come move over us. Come rest on us. Come rest on us. Won't you come down? Spirit, when you move, you make my heart pound. When you fill the room, you're here and I know you are moving. I'm here and I know you will fill me. Fire and wind, come and do it again. Open up the gates, let heaven on in. Come rest on us. Come rest on us. And fire and wind, come and do it again. Open up the gates, let heaven on in. Come rest on us. Come rest on us. So come down. Spirit, when you move, you make my heart pound. When you fill the room, you're here and I know you are moving. I'm here and I know you will fill me. Yeah, won't you come and fill me? Fill me. Fill me. And Holy Spirit, come rest on us. You're all we want. You're all we want. And Holy Spirit, come rest on us. You're all we want. You're all we want. Come down, Spirit, when you move, you make my heart pound. When you fill the room, you're here and I know you are moving. I'm here and I know you will fill me. Come down, Spirit, when you move, you make my heart pound. When you fill the room, you're here and I know you are moving. I'm here and I know you will fill me. So come and consume, God, all we are. We give you permission. Our hearts are yours. We want you. We want you. Come and consume, God, all we are. We give you permission. Our hearts are yours. We want you. We want you. And come and consume, God, all we are. We give you permission. Our hearts are yours. We want you. We want you. We say, come and consume, God, all we are. We give you permission. Our hearts are yours. We want you. We want you. Come and consume, God, all we are. We give you permission. Our hearts are yours. We want you. We want you. it crashes over me, it crashes over me. For you are for us, and you are not against us. Champion of heaven, you made a way for all to enter in. I have heard of the majesty and wonder of you, King of heaven. In humility I bow as your love and wave after wave, it crashes over me, it crashes over me. For you are for us, and you are not against us. Champion of heaven, you made a way for all to enter in. I have heard you calling my name. I have heard a love that you sing. Oh, I will let you draw me out beyond the shore into your grace. Oh, your grace, as your love and wave after wave, it crashes over me, it crashes over me. For you are for us, and you are not against us. Champion of heaven, you made a way for all to enter in. Call me out beyond the shore into the waves. Oh, you make me brave. You make me brave. And no fear can hinder now the promises you've made. You make me brave. You make me brave. You call me out beyond the shore into the waves. You make me brave. Oh, you make me brave. And no fear can hinder now. The love has made a way. Because your love and wave after wave crashes over me, crashes over me. For you are for us, and you are not against us. Champion of heaven, you made a way for all to enter in.
Yeah. I don't know. God just does so many things when we're just with Him, when we are in his presence, and when we step into that and we finally take that step, he just does everything with what we surrender. It has been so awesome to be with you all today. Such an honor to continue to grow with my own personal growth in ministry and music and worship through this Truer TV. It's been so awesome and just such a blessing to be able to speak to other people, to speak life into others. It's just such an honor. Yeah, and I wanted to talk about a little bit of what my future, I guess, looking forward is, because God doesn't stop when we finally achieve what we were hoping to achieve or what he chose to make happen. Something that I always wanted to do was to go on some trip that was intentionally for Jesus, intentionally to do work for his ministry, to grow myself for his ministry, and I get to do that this summer. The program that I chose to do was with this thing called Circuit Riders, and I get to do I think it's 12 days of worship and prayer, and that just sounds so awesome. And really finding community that understands what you live for and your foundation and your values and how much you love Jesus just matters so much, just because if they can't pour into that, you'll be tipping your cup and pouring into them, and without having someone else to really come in and to pour in as you pour out, it doesn't work, right? And so it's really important to also look ahead and not just in front of you, because there's always stuff to get done, stuff that needs to happen before you can really absolutely reach the potential that you were meant to reach. And so something that I heard recently, actually, it was a sermon. It was by Transformation Church. I forgot his name. Anyways, he said, when you reach a plateau, and so once you feel like if you feel like you're in a time where you're like, okay, I don't really know what I'm going to do now because I'm already kind of doing what I said I'd be doing, and that's when it's time to sow, because there will still be another harvest season. It'll still keep coming around. That's why we call different parts of life seasons, because sometimes they happen again and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes the stuff that we grow isn't plentiful, and so we can't reap that harvest. And so sometimes when we have the time to be in a plateau is when we have the time to sow into things. And so sometimes that could look like having more intentional time with God, having more prayerful worship, but sometimes that could look like serving in ministry. Sometimes that could look like not serving in ministry and serving somewhere else. And that's the thing, is that worship isn't just a one-time thing. It's not just, in this place you do this and in this place you do that. It's a posture. It's a heart posture. And so to always be in a posture of worship is to do everything in a way that you can bring everything that you can to God's feet and also lift him up at the same time. And that's easier said than done, but that's essentially what we should strive for, is to always be in pursuit of saying, I only know so much, and my God knows more than I do, and so sometimes I'm going to give it over to him because he can clearly do more than I can at this time. And yeah, and I'm just hoping that through this meaningful time for me, in my time of sowing this summer, I will get to pour it back out onto you. And that's just kind of what it looks like, right? The more that we sow into ourselves is also more that we can give in another season and another time. And so sometimes that sowing season feels like a long time, and sometimes it feels like you only got so many chances to do so, but it will come back again. And that's what I also like about seasons, is that there will be chances and opportunities that God will make for you if it's what is supposed to happen. And if it isn't, then it isn't. And we give that to God, and He takes our worries and cares. And yeah, I don't know if there's anything left for me to say other than to pray for you. And so I'm going to pray, and I'm going to thank you all for staying this long and watching and listening and just being with me today. Lord, I just pray that everyone that is watching, that everyone that will watch, that everyone that hears, that they take away something from today, that whether or not they know it, that I've ministered to them in some way, and if I didn't, I pray that they get to minister to somebody else with what I've had to say. But even if it doesn't, and even if it's just me that it was meant to go to, that everything was done for your good and your glory, because it's not about how many, but how we do it and why we do it and who we do it for, because it's your kingdom that we're trying to build. It's your kingdom that we are trying to sow into. It's all for you. So Lord, thank you for this opportunity to be together with people that I might not ever be with in person, but I get to speak to today. I thank you that that you just gave me this blessing to be able to speak today. And I pray that it doesn't stop, that there isn't just any blockages. I pray that it just keeps growing, that your ministry will just keep pouring out, and that your people will just keep sowing. In the name of Jesus, amen. So yes, thank you all for being with me on the throne of worship, and I hope to see you in 2 weeks. Have a good day, everybody.
And the world was born. Life begins and ends in the dust you form. Faith commanded, and the mountains move. Fear is losing ground, and our hope in you. Unstoppable God, let your glory go on and on. Impossible things in your name, they shall be done. Unstoppable God, let your glory go on and on. Impossible things in your name, they shall be done. Freedom conquered, all our chains undone. Sin defeated, Jesus has overcome. Mercy triumphed when the third day dawned. Darkness was denied when the storm was gone. Unstoppable God, let your glory go on and on. Impossible things in your name, they shall be done. Unstoppable God, let your glory go on. kingdom reigns unstoppable. We'll shout your praise forevermore. Jesus, our God, unstoppable. Nothing shall be impossible. Your kingdom reigns unstoppable. We'll shout your praise forevermore. Jesus, our God, unstoppable. Unstoppable God, let your glory go on and on. Impossible things in your name, they shall be done. Unstoppable God, let your glory go on and on. Impossible things in your name, they shall be done. Unstoppable God, let your glory go on and on. Impossible things in your name, they shall be done. Unstoppable God, let your glory go on and on. Impossible things in your name, they shall.
You are watching the True Word Television, spreading the true word of salvation.
Young, strong, resistant, resilient, persistent, ready, gathering for a cause. To prepare the young generations rather than repair them later.
God believes in young people. There is no vision that can become generational without the involvement of young people.
The Young Generals Gathering, every Monday 5 p.m. CST on the True Word Television.
I am your privileged host, Philip Olabisi.
You are watching the True Word Television, spreading the true word of salvation.
When it is Tuesday on the True Word Television, it is time to explore the True Wellness Connections.
Welcome again to the True Wellness Connection. My name is Claudine Salomo.
Today is Tuesday.
Especially on Tuesdays like this, we talk about a lot of topics.
Join Mrs. Claudine Salomo.
I am not saying you should not love yourself for who you are, but you should want to do something even better.
Victoria Masio
You just have to be honest with yourself.
and Elizabeth Brimo
The way you live tells so much to the kids.
to talk health, wealth, parenting, relationship, finances, and life at large.
Because any negative thought, trust me, does never build anybody, can only destroy us.
Look deep inside your pocket, your bank account.
The way you handle situations at home matters.
The True Wellness Connections, every Tuesday on the True Word Television, 5:30, Winnipeg.
For the Lord God Almighty reigns.
Hello, my name is Pastor Joy. I invite you to tune in on a regular basis to the True Word Television and be blessed by God's servants from all over the world. Welcome. We look forward to seeing you soon.
are watching the True Word Television, spreading the true word of salvation.